Hey bookkeepers, it's January. I can't believe it either, but here we are. Happy 2026. Look, December was about cleanup and January is about closing and control. Hi, I'm Trudy from Maven Systems and I want to get you the It's January, Do This Now checklist, which is what we're going to look at right now. And attached below is the actual copy of the physical checklist so you can download it, check things off as you are going. Okay, so here is your all-important January checklist. Number one, finalize your year-end bank reconciliations. That seems pretty obvious, right? Every credit card, every bank loan, every line of credit, all of it has to be reconciled. And there's no doing it later. Get it done now. In fact, you really should have brought it as close to finalized last month as you could have. But let's assume for a second that you might be behind. Get that situated and make sure that everything on the balance sheet has a supporting document if the balance changed since last year. All right, so number two, this segues right in, build and put together your CPA packet. Okay, so every client is going to have a tax preparer, and whether you have one that manages all your clients or whether you have a separate tax pro and CPA for each client, doesn't matter. You're going to send them the same packet. It's custom, but it is standard. And this is something that starting bookkeepers seem to leave this part out. These are the intermediary skills that I always talk about. This is giving the CPA what they need to literally facilitate the return. Because at this time of year, that is the sole purpose for you to be living and breathing, facilitating tax returns. Okay, that's the whole reason to be a bookkeeper right now. So what I like to do is I run a side-by-side comparison of my balance sheet at 12/31/2025 compared to 12/31/2024. And if there was a change in that balance, then that is going to get a supporting document. And I just work my way down through the balance sheet, accounting for every single account, again, if the balance changed from last year. All right. Now, we go over this in great detail in many other videos and in modules of Maven Systems. So pay attention and watch for that to drop. All right, now number three, lock the previous year, especially if you have DIYers in your realm, or a lot of my clients actually have in-house full-time bookkeepers. And so when I'm not the only one in the file, I make sure it's locked and password protected. Okay, we don't need mystery changes happening next June that are going to somehow affect this year. That's a big no-no. Number four, confirm your 1099 and W-2s. You know, there's the obvious name, address, social security number, and that's all well and good. And we should have been checking that over the last couple of months to make sure that that was intact. But don't forget also that your W-2 totals are really, really important this year. So I'm assuming that you're using an ADP, a Paychex, a Gusto, okay? But make sure that this year in particular, tips are spot on and overtime. Now, I'm not sure what is going to go on with the W-2s this year because we have people that will be getting refunds on taxes that they already paid throughout the course of the year, your client's employees, for tips and overtime. So we don't know right now what that procedure is, but watch for it. There will be a different procedure. Number five, sales and payroll tax filings. Now, again, if you're using a payroll service, great. They're going to manage all of this for you. But if you have sales tax, if you have meals taxes, any compliance taxes like that, don't forget those. Don't let those get lost in the year-end shuffle, okay? And also, you need to tie those out. I recommend using a template where you can show your CPA that all of the filed tax returns, and again, we're talking about compliance, so rooms, meals, sales tax, that your CPA can see that those returns were filed and that those returns match the information that they're representing in both your balance sheet and your P&L, because we're talking about taxable sales versus non-taxable sales. And again, we go over that in detail in other videos and in Maven Systems. So pay close attention because that's something that you need to nail. Number five, update your engagements, your pricing, and your scope of work, especially if you've had scope creep going on this past year. Maybe it's time to, and perfect time of year actually, to re-examine your contracts and your pricing. And this is a good time, you know, between you, me, and the lamppost to evaluate your clients and to move on from your lesser clients. You know, if you are trying to get your high ticket clients and you're stuck devoting all of your time to fixing the messes of low end clients, then you're never going to be able to make room. Okay, so now's a good time to reevaluate, maybe cut ties with a couple of your lower end clients and fix your pricing. If you're still pricing hourly, you really need to do something about that. And again, we cover that in a lot of other videos. So come and visit us and take a look around. Now, number 7, our last item on the list is plan your capacity for next year. And that's the same assessment, okay? Who is draining you? Who disrespects the deadlines? Who are you chasing constantly? Cut ties with those people, replace them with really ace clients, and negotiate that at the beginning of the contract. And again, maybe you have a client whose contract just needs negotiation. Better boundaries need to be set and much clearer expectations. It's really hard for a client to step up to meet expectations when you haven't laid them out. So what is their part in this whole equation? There are documents that they need to provide you regularly, anything like that. Just make sure that you have communicated that in your contracts, okay? All right, so that is our 7-item list for January. Now, I want to introduce you here to the concept of our Maven app, which should be dropping any day, okay? And what Maven app does is provide you a bird's eye view, and for year end, we need that to know which clients are closed, which ones are not. What are we missing from those that are not? For those that are, have we sent our CPA packet yet? And once we've done that, have we received our CPA's final adjusting journal entries? And I don't like to work with CPAs that don't send those because there's always something to adjust, normally at the very least depreciation, okay? So your call to action is to get busy. Do not lag just because they haven't come up with the tax forms yet. But follow, subscribe here, and watch for the February edition because there will be more coming, and I will see you.